It's super sexy. It's super sexy. I think that maybe we're online.
Oh my
gosh. Who are we?
Who are we?
Evan.
Shall I?
You should.
I think you shall.
Welcome to the Pocket Dimension Live. Today, it's a twofer. Pop 2 for 1. We are going to dip into the final 2 characters for our upcoming one-shot with the DC20 tabletop role-playing game.
Yes.
Take us away.
On the screen.
Hey,
everybody!
Look at us!
Yay!
So I think we need to address the elephant in the room. Our guest. Yes, there he is. We are so happy to have our guest on, none other than Seth McKay. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me. This is exciting.
Oh man, yeah, it is exciting. We're excited. Yeah.
And
so
we are also down a Matt. We will also address the elephant not in the room. Matt is off having fun at Gamehole Con, and we miss him so much, but hope that he's having the best time playing all the games, meeting all the people, and we will carry on without him. But since he is usually our producer, we're just going to do our best, and we're all going to love each other, right?
Yeah, just love each other.
Just love each other.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
I see DC, our dungeon coach, is in the chat on YouTube. We've got Jax. We've got the Pocket Dimension Paladin, Tabletop Phoenix. Who else is here? Michelle. Michelle is here. So good to see you, Daniel. Albestine. Gosh, so many cool people are already here, and so many more cool people are coming. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. So, what kind of topics do y'all like?
Oh, I like talking about polls.
Oh.
Polls?
I like talking about character creation.
Pole vaulting?
Yes.
I like randomness and spiciness. And I believe, Evan, you have an update on such a thing, right?
Yeah, so I do have an update. So last week on the Pocket Dimension Live, Matt and I were flying solo duo. And what we were doing was rolling up my character for this one shot. He's a ranger from Dungeon Coach and others. The idea, kind of born out of not doing any preparation for the show, was to involve you guys in creating that character as much as you want to. And so thank you, Coach, for stepping in and giving us the baseline for this. So he said, okay, we need to have an intelligence-based ranger who's like great at survival. So basically kind of a Bear Grylls. And an intelligence-based character of any kind for me, that's hard, but I'm here for it. So I decided to kind of lean into the crowd creation of this character a little bit more. And yesterday in the Discord, dropped a poll. We got to pick a name. We need an ancestry. We need an alignment, and then just a little background on this guy. And you guys have weighed in, and I don't know how long do we want to let this poll run for? Do we want to let it go for a little while, or do we want to just close it off today and whoever voted, this is it?
I don't know, man. It's your character. How are you? Like, is anything that was voted on like calling to you and you were like, yes, that's it? Or
I mean, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So there's, you can write in, you could put anything you want. I just put some suggestions up. So the names, so first of all, names for this character that had already come up was Tuck had been suggested. Tobias had been suggested. Drew, which I think that was a kind of a play on Druid, because everyone knows that I don't like Druids. And then Bear Grylls.
Dungeon Coach says, "Lock it in, bro. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it. Okay, great. We're about to. We're finna gonna. Okay, so next up was some options were elf, because rangers, elves, the kind of peanut butter and jelly, surface elf, or maybe a drow elf, a human, boring, or maybe a bugbear. And then alignment, everyone knows the alignments. And then lastly, just what kind of person is this? So universally, so far, everyone has voted for Tobias is in the lead, which I'm here for that.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as ancestry goes, Bugbear is in the lead, which I am also 100% here for.
Feels good.
I love
Feels right.
the idea of an intelligent Bugbear ranger. And then let's get into personality. We had two really interesting suggestions. One was that the personality of this guy or Tobias, we'll call him Tobias now, is kind of a Kraven the Hunter. And if you don't know the Spider-Man mythos, Kraven the Hunter is a big scary hunter baked into the name. But he kind of he has a, like, as Tabletop Phoenix says, he has a genuine hatred for animals. I think is ridiculous.
Yep. Love that.
As
Love
a hunter, that's what he does. And then I don't know how to pronounce this. This is says that he was interested in seeing kind of a Steve Irwin type of hyper knowledgeable, which is going to be super hard for me to play, but I will do my best. Kind of, okay, you look at the sides of the papers on that thing. So, and then Fitz, I believe you stepped in and said, let me yes and that, and let's hybridize these. Mm-hmm. So let's take Kraven and with Steve Irwin, and that's going to be Tobias. Mm-hmm. And I think we have our character. Last night I was already kind of talking to Bernie, my dog, with his voice, kind of working on his voice. And really the Kraven the Hunter thing. Oh, I did want to add something that I don't think we made on the character sheet, which was if there's a taxidermy skill not in the current alpha, there's about to be. I'm gonna write that in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because in addition to his kind of hatred of regular animals, and one of the mentioned in Discord was that he loves cryptids, reveres cryptids, doesn't want to kill those.
Right.
But that he has an extensive taxidermy collection. So he's coming together. He's coming together for me.
Yeah.
Any other suggestions?
May I ask a question?
Of course.
Are the taxidermied creatures the cryptids or regular animals that he's hunting?
Well, I mean, my inference from what people were saying was that he wouldn't kill a cryptid.
Sure.
He would hunt. Observe and respect.
Oh, yeah.
But Walt skins.
What the
cryptids, you're okay. And there he is, Tobias. Lastly, if you guys want to chime in Discord and come up with a last name for this fella,
Funke. There is no other answer. Come on, man.
Funke.
All the Tobias have F last names. Funke, Fourier.
Yeah.
Like
Forge.
Yeah, same guy, different pronunciation. Yeah.
Oh, how did you pronounce it?
Fourier.
Oh, really?
Good old Swedish.
That's not nearly as rock and roll, man.
I know. Forge
Too
is
Swedish.
like.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
Yeah.
Fourier. Oh, you Swedes. Anyway.
Soft cheese.
So then there's the results of this poll for the Ranger, wrapping up our show last week. Now, what are we doing?
Well, I've dropped the link to our Discord for anybody here not in it. Come nerd out with us. And Evan started a bunch of polls in Discord to see what y'all want. But like Coach said, lock it in. It sounds like Tobias is the winner. It sounds
Tobias the
Bugbear is the winner. I was surprised, and I know you and I had talked about this offline, but to see that you were even considering playing an evil alignment, I was like, do we need to go ask permission of our DM, or can we just decide to do that? It felt so badass.
I mean, I would ask permission, but I did want to float it out there in case it won, because I'm truly willing to do whatever you guys say. I will roll that into the sky. So
I jokingly voted evil. Just because I saw that,
That was
there was
you.
already a lead on something. I was like, I like pumpkins. I'm just gonna
Oh my god.
go for the pumpkin.
I think I voted true neutral. Like, I kind of want to see how you'd play because I know I always lean chaos. And so for once I didn't vote chaos. I voted, you can be our North Star. Note, by the way, I am crowdsourcing nothing for Benny. Yeah. You're all going to get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. Just kidding. If there's anything that you guys want to see from a Scion, I am all eyes and ears. I just haven't done as good of a job as Evan about being vocal about that. So, but enough about Tobias and Benny for now. Keep on commenting though. We really are eager to hear what you guys want to see. Why don't we talk about our next two characters who will be played by none other than Fitz and Seth? Who is up first, and how do we want to slide into this part?
Let's dive into the Warlord, right?
Yeah. Ooh, let's do it.
Yeah. So there was a poll up on YouTube, right? Right. I guess y'all could probably speak better to the poll.
Yep.
I just got the results of the poll.
Well, we did two polls. So the first one, Scion was the first winner, and then Ranger was in a very close second in the first poll. And then so that was how we dictated what Tobias and Benny would be. And then we were like, all right, well then if people want to use their voices, let's keep on crowdsourcing this. And so we then did part 2, Electric Boogaloo, and again immediately Monk and Warlord rose to the top. So that was when we tapped in our buddy Seth and said, hey, you want to play some DC20 with us? And thankfully for all of us. Yep. So do you want me to kind of hop into your character sheet and we can kind of talk through that? Is that the best? All right, give me a second. Good. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll get some things set up. So tell us, I'd like to hear from you, both as someone who has not played DC20 yet. So this will be your first foray. You've gone through the alpha, but also like your first kind of hot take as you read through the Warlord class. What do you think?
Super excited, first of all, just on the new system, and just hearing y'all chat about it has got me just so amped to see what happens, what kind of the collaborative side of things is just the most exciting thing to me. Looking at the Warlord, from how I understand it, and Fitz, you are, I think, the master among us. So feel free to jump in, correct anything I might misspeak.
Okay.
But as far as I understand it, right, the Warlord is almost like a commander, like the inspiration on the battlefield, more like a fighter for D&D meets like support of inspiring your allies and kind of motivating them to victory. So
And Seth, I loved specifically that you got this one. I was hoping for either Sorcerer, because I would like to see what you do with the DC20 version of the Sorcerer. Spoiler alert, it has this ability to basically overload its own powers. Matt playtested it at Gen Con. I think you would be fantastic at it. But for those of you who don't know Seth, who are just now meeting him, he is the ultimate Chaos Gremlin in game. He exists to lift all of us up anyways and just kind of help us all ascend to our platforms of shenanigans. And so knowing you were going to be in the Warlord seat had me absolutely thrilled, because you do that so naturally and so beautifully anyways.
Well, thank you. That is far too kind. And it is actually, might surprise you. I mean, typically I run games, so I play villains often.
Yep.
And the Warlords, to me, just the word Warlord, I was like, oh, this is, I don't know, it just leans that direction. You had, I was fortunate enough to play on a super fun one shot where I was a bit of a mischievous character, which was normally I play the stealthy sort of or very woodsy person. So it's a bit of it's very I don't know, reassuring to hear that actually worked, because that was kind of the first time I did it as a player. So
And it was epic, especially for a one-shot. What Seth is referring to is we actually do monthly one-shots with our patrons. If you check out Enter the Pocket Dimension on Patreon, you can come play with us. In fact, we have this month's one-shot, one of the sessions coming up tomorrow, and another one next week. And so it's really fun to get to play with new friends. And what Seth did, it full circle in a 4-hour period of time where he kind of came in as our unofficial villain of the party and got his due at the end. And it was fun to see that. So on the last couple of episodes for the building of our Scion and our Ranger, we kind of went step by step breaking down the character sheet. Y'all are all old pros now. We've had the DC in our hands for a few weeks now. So we decided since we're building 2, we aren't going to do quite that much math. I'm sure Coach is probably delighted to hear that we're not going to fumble through more math again.
Don't worry, I had our homework checked. I submitted our homework last night to get the math checked, so we're good.
We love you, Coach. But Fitz and Seth, if you kind of want to talk us through the character sheet, I can zoom in if I need to on any specifics, since I know this is kind of a very zoomed out view, but we wanted to show you guys a fully realized character sheet today, actually 2 of them.
Yeah.
Do you think it's better to dive into the abilities of the character first, or do you want me to, I guess, tell a little bit about what I'm thinking for the character's personality and stuff? Because I know we do have a poll to throw up there, but I feel like that should be influenced by maybe a better understanding of kind of the direction.
I say reveal your character choices, and then we can put the poll up, and then that way you can show how the numbers are supporting your idea.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so the Warlord, like I said before, inspiring allies, all of this. I wanted to play someone kind of against type or my own personal choices. So I went with the antithesis of Seth McKay in high school, just total meathead guy I put everything into might and agility, all the physical stats. I dumped everything else on the mental. So the character is a Beastborn, I believe. Fitz, you said, is the tentative class name, or not class name, race name. And this character is specifically a large gorilla man, just kind of beefy and a natural athlete is kind of how I picture him. So I think the stats reflect that. We learned that my mental defense is very poor, whereas my physical, I think you said, was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. We calculated it over the weekend. You and I met, and we actually, so for Seth and myself, we rolled for stats. So we'll go into that in a second. But when we calculated everything on Sunday, and then last night Seth DM'd me and was like, I think we messed up on the physical defense. And so we recalculated it, and I was just screaming at how high this is, because a 17 baseline physical defense is ridiculous.
Wild. That's going to be hard to hit you. By the way, one of Seth's own friends since high school, Colby McHugh, has just waited to say Seth McKay, natural athlete. So your boys got your back there, Seth.
I think that's total sarcasm.
And confirmation from Alan that Seth has the lowest possible mental and highest possible physical defense.
Wow.
We min-maxed.
Unintentionally, completely unintentionally. That is hilarious. Oh, that's amazing. All right.
Let's save it on the character sheet real quick to what specifically y'all are talking about with this, the mental and the physical, as we're looking at these numbers up here. And what makes DC20 so fun is that, like, you get like the thrill of a high roll. So if, Matt as our DM is trying to beat up on this gorilla, this Beastborn, he's getting a brutal hit on mental at 18, causing some wild amounts of damage. But on the flip side of that, he's not going to be able to touch Seth's character at a 17 base or 22 heavy, 27 brutal. I love the payoff of a high roll in DC20.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So how did we get here? Should I go over then to the ability scores and you can kind of talk us through how we got from point A to point B?
Yeah, but I think we also need to put it to the people because our dear beloved meathead gorilla man doesn't have a name.
Does not.
And Seth has a couple options that he's thinking of. So we're going to do a straw poll. Hopefully Nightbot will. This is the first time we're trying to use Nightbot, so hopefully it'll cooperate with us.
It's exciting. Little.
Am I doing this or are you doing this?
Live demo.
You're going to have to.
I got you.
Have to pop it in.
I got you. Let's see if this works.
So this character is I'm blanking on the mastery. Has mastery in Hammerball, which is just a made up sport I made up because he carries a giant hammer. And so that's kind of how it ties into the Warlord real quick is I imagine he was the captain of a hammerball, his local hammerball team. And we'll see how inspiring he actually is when that time rolls around. But should I list out the names?
Yeah, go ahead and say them. I've got this ready to go to put it into comments when you've told us. I don't want to steal your thunder though.
Yeah, so potential name 1 is Johnsh. Number 2 is...
Spell that, please.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. It is definitely easier when you see it. It's Johnsh.
Yeah. Also, half the comedy is seeing it, much as hearing
it. Name number 2, we've got Chahd. Bro, but like the H is silent. Well, like the second H. I just went like real Australian there for some reason.
Love it.
I think I picked up some of that Steve Irwin. And then number 3, we've got Chahd Dick McDuffin.
Dick McDuffin. I'm going to try the poll. We're trying Nightbot for the first time. If it doesn't work, just use your words in comments to weigh in. But you may be able to. No, it doesn't look like the poll is going to work. All right,
Dang.
But you can see now in comments. So we've got Johnsh, we've got Chahd, but like the second H is silent, and Chahd Dick. So use your fingers and type. All right, Michelle's already coming in strong with a Dick McDuffin.
McDuffin.
Or write your own in. I saw Colby had written one in for Christopher the Gorilla Man.
Mm-hmm.
If that can be your official vote, Colby, or we'll allow you to revote once more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got 2 Chads. We got 2 Chads.
So we'll let that run for a bit while we.
I think I had a Dick McMuffin at a roadside McDonald's once.
I love a Dick McMuffin. Yum. Treat yourself.
If you don't vote for Johnsh, we're going to have words.
Now we're campaigning.
Yeah. Okay. The 3 others of us, not you, Seth, need to throw our weight behind one of these.
Yeah. I'm definitely Dick McDuffin. It's obvious.
Okay. What are you thinking of it?
Johnsh, man.
Okay, you're Johnsh. I will go Chahd with the silent second H.
Yeah. 2 H's.
There are no losers here when these are your 3 options, though. I would like to point out.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So now that we're gonna let y'all mull that over a bit while we just do some high level highlights on this character sheet to make this meathead come to light. So Seth here, we rolled on Sunday, and you rolled a 1, a 2, a -1, and a 0. And when you're rolling for stats in DC20, you roll 1d4 minus 2, do it 4 times, write down what you get, and then you get 2 wild card points that you can plop wherever. So Seth, I believe you picked Might so that you could get that up to 3, right? Yep. And then what was the second one you picked? Agility?
I'm forgetting what that. I think it was agility. Right. So I think I had a 1 in agility. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What does this DA mean in the agility score?
That's a great question because that also affects his insane physical defense. Seth, would you like to walk folks through?
Yeah. So
your
the
choices?
DA is disadvantage on all the agility checks, which. Comes from my insane AC, my +3 heavy armor.
Okay.
So I kind of see this big gorilla man in just like, I don't know, whatever hammerball sort of gear is, just weighing him down. So that's what the DA is. Okay. I think the fun thing is, I think this came out to just the standard array when we rolled and added in the bonus points.
Yeah.
I think it's essentially the same sort of score from the standard array.
I think that's right. Yeah, you came out with just about exactly. You would have gotten the same because you would have had one wild card point to spend. You would have put it in actually, no, I think you might have done slightly better than standard.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Doesn't matter.
You came out close.
But that is a great question, Allison. And I don't know if you want to touch on this now, Fitz, but the other benefit of the heavy armor and kind of, how that, offsets the disadvantage on agility. Other than +3 to your AC.
Right. +3 to the AC. And then, AK, if you want to scroll a little bit to the right on the sheet so we can see the PDMD area. Seth is the only one in our group that has got armor with damage reduction. So heavy armor comes with 1 point of novice heavy armor comes with 1 point of damage reduction. Now that only applies to if you get hit with just your standard, like if someone hits a 17, then you can reduce your damage by 1 point. If they hit with a heavy or a brutal, then it doesn't come into play. But anything between 17 and 22, Seth gets to reduce 1 point of damage taken.
Yeah. Wow.
Which I love. I love that.
And I love this comment from Kai, weighing in proof that the standard array for the system is really good. Even when y'all use different methods, you tend to end up with the same array. And I'll be honest, I have the worst FOMO in the entire world. And since I went first and we did standard array for me, I was a little bit like, I want to roll too, and got a little bit crabby. But it has been fun to see everybody's sheets.
They're coming out pretty close. Yeah,
hey, I'm just like you.
Yeah, like you did standard, Evan, you did point by, Seth and I rolled. And honestly, the end results were very close to each other. So, yeah.
Good job.
100%. Now, and then the other thing too is though, to get you to that 17, right, you have a shield.
Yes.
And
my invisible shield.
Yeah, your invisible Captain America shield. You picked a round one because we discovered that if you had picked the kite shield, which is also a heavy shield, he would have had double disadvantage on agility checks.
Yeah.
It
stacks.
Why? Why?
Because it disadvantage stacks in DC20.
Yeah.
No, why? But why disadvantage for that based on the shape of the shield? I
think because it's so large. It's such a large shield. I think a kite shield. It said mounted too as a feature. So I guess it's
okay.
Tied into mounts as well. The round shield also you can use as a weapon, if I understand correctly. It has a thrown property. So kind of like Captain America, you can sling it. So
nice.
Awesome.
Love it.
I'm excited to do just that.
To just do your Captain America. Let's see. Was there anything else? Oh, you already talked about. So we did do a custom knowledge for Seth. You chose Hammerball, which I love. Just play into that natural jock. Oh, and then, so do you want to talk about how your health points are also different? So the Warlord gets some really cool stuff in the character design that really boosts some of their points. So your hit points are different as well.
Yes. So we did the standard calculation for hit points, and then at level 1, and I believe just scrolling through the alpha, I think most classes get little hit point buffs at different levels. So the Warlord, however, gets one straight out of the gate with a +1. So it's based on, I don't know if the formula's on that sheet. No.
I have a little cheat sheet. So for yours, it's everybody's hit point calculations are 4 plus your character level times 2. So that would be 6 plus might plus agility. That's everyone gets that. Yes. But then Warlord at level 1 gets a +1 bonus just right out the gate.
Right. So stacking all of my physical stats and then also the Warlord's bonus just set me up big time there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then let's see. You also, so the way that the Warlord gets a stamina point back is really flavorful based on...
Yes, based on the sort of aid of the Warlords, supporting the allies. So with stamina points, I can use that for a few things. Essentially to kind of help my allies attack or move or do all that. And then to get it back is by using a help die. So using an action point, one of my 4 action points, to add a help die to someone else's roll. That is how I get the stamina point back.
Mm-hmm. And then you use that stamina point for a number of things, but mostly techniques. And you picked Heroic Taunt.
Yes.
I shall taunt you a second time.
Heroically.
Heroically. Oh, I love that under features. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that basically is throwing out a taunt, and it gives an enemy a disadvantage against attacks of everyone but me. I believe is how that works.
Yeah,
so
it's similar to goading attack, if anyone is familiar with that. Let's see. I believe I took I sent a copy of exactly what it is to AK. Let's see. So Heroic Taunt is you can spend 1 AP, 1 action point, and 1 stamina point to attempt to taunt all enemies within 5 spaces. Make an attack check contested by each target's mental save. And then if you succeed, they are taunted, which is a condition in DC20. We'll have to do conditions at some point because they're pretty sweet and there's a lot of them. And that works until the end of your next turn.
So that's...
Sorry, go ahead, Seth.
I was going to say that, I guess, the comparison to goading attack, this, I guess, applies to, can potentially apply to multiple enemies. Kind of has a ranged thing going on, which is super cool.
Don't think that it's escaped this damn crispy crew that you've picked up something called Seasoned Commander.
What's even best? What's best about that is it is it is labeled the flavor feature for the Warlord at level 1. So the Seasoned Commander is the flavor feature.
The Seasoned Commander is our own personal Salt Bae. Is all I'm hearing. Okay.
All I can envision now is a gorilla man who's actually battered and fried.
Do we have a name for our meathead who has been put in the deep fryer?
I've done the tallying for everybody that's weighed in so far. I see some lurkers out here. I see that we have more people watching than we have votes for. So not too late but right now Chahd is kicking some butt. So we've got 2 votes for Johnsh, we've got 5 votes for Chahd, and we got 3 votes for Dick. Dicto. So
I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna cast my vote.
I've already counted. Wait, you're already counted in that one. I counted yours for Johnsh and Fitz's for Chahd and mine for Dick McDuffin.
I'm stacking the deck then.
Brandon, welcome. We need you to vote on the Beastborn gorilla that we're building, our Warlord. Do you want him to be named Johnsh, Chahd, or Dick? Same for you, Garrett. Thank you for joining both of us. We love having y'all here. So get those votes in. It is not too late. Today on the stream, by the way, we're going to be giving away a copy of the DC20 Alpha and voting for character names. So...
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. I don't think so.
That was my fault. I fell down on the job. That was my one job.
So we want to give a really big shout out and a huge thank you to Michelle, who won the giveaway on one of the Dungeon Coach's live streams recently. And instead of opting to get a product, a PDF or the alpha for themselves, they very kindly donated it to us to give away. So we're going to be doing that today at some point, maybe towards the end. So stick around if you want to win a copy of the alpha for yourself.
Yes.
We're getting some more votes are coming in, but it's still Chahd leading. So 3 Johnsh, 7 Chahd, 4 Dicks.
4 and a partridge in a pear tree.
We got 4 Dicks in this piece, and I'm one of them. Yeah,
love it.
Awesome. I have a question / observation. Maybe you guys already covered this in Warlord, but because I was in the chat, kind of chatting with folks, so I got distracted. Inspiring presence, right? I think you touched on this a little bit already, that the Warlord, their presence on the battlefield can, help kind of heal people. And this is really just a kind of an observation of something that I think is neat about just the way that you think about hit points and damage, and that there's nothing magical about the Warlord and their ability to inspire the people on the battlefield. They're not healing you in the way that a cleric might. But it's kind of like I think about it like you're on a run and you've got your playlist going, and then Van Halen comes on, and now you're super tired, and then Hot for Teacher, and you're like, oh yeah, here we go. Now I can run this this last mile because I'm all pumped. It's like that. So it seems like it's taking hit points and making that there's physical damage, there's damage to your body or to your armor, and then there's just like mental exhaustion that you're feeling, and then all of a sudden the Warlord steps up on the field and you're emboldened and you're filled back up. Anyway, I just wanted to toss that out there as something I thought was I like little details about the game, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and I think since we had spent the last 2 weeks kind of doing the nitty gritty building of how do you make a character, we wanted to spend today a little bit more with the flavor of both the Warlord and the Monk, which will be coming up here in a second. But let's absolutely talk about those features, not just the crispy seasoned commander, but let's look at the inspiring presence as like, how does that really shape what the Warlord does, what their purpose is in the party. So it's the inspiring presence is whenever you spend stamina points in combat, you can restore an amount of hit points equal to the stamina points spent. Choose any allies within 5 spaces of you and divide that HP among them. A creature must be able to see or hear you to benefit from this feature. So this is like the Warlord coming up over the hill, as the clouds part. And yeah, you hear Hot for Teacher coming up over in the background. And everyone who can see and hear them is just like, yes, I can do this.
By the way, we now have 2 votes for Chris because before we gave the options, Colby wanted Christopher, and now Brandon wants Crispy Bacon. So I'm adding that as a very official write-in, and y'all can't stop me. If y'all want to go throw this and make all the votes for Crispy Bacon, we're here for it. This is in your hands.
P.S. If Drew had won the poll for the naming of this ranger, then his last name his middle initial and last name would have been Drew P. Balls.
I apparently missed an opportunity when I played Drew.
Yeah, I'm missing an opportunity. I've got to figure out something about Benny to crowdsource because this is too much fun, and now I want to get it on the app. I told y'all my FOMO is real.
Crisp all the way. That's right.
Crispy bacon.
And then let's see. Do you want to? We've got Commander's Call as well, which we haven't talked about. Seth, I'm talking too much about your Warlord. Talk about Commander's Call. Talk about your crispy bacon, man.
Crispy Commander.
All the votes are changing, by the way. I'm here for it.
So Commander's Call is it's a feature I can use to spend 1 action point and a stamina point to command 1 willing creature that I can see within 5 spaces to take one of the following actions. There's a list as a reaction for free. So from how I understand it, you can spend your action points as reactions. You can use all of them as reactions versus D&D where you get a single reaction. So this just gives you a free reaction without using that action point. And I can, inspire someone to attack, move up to their speed, or take the dodge action. So look out.
Which I believe, I our dear beloved Matthew Bivens, who's in the house now, used back in our very first playtest with AK's character.
Yep. That's how Matt kept me from dying in that moment, because I was about to go down after the what is it called? The duel with the shaman. There was the spell duel, and then I got in with the big monster that we were all fighting and was down to like a hit point, and Matt was able to get in there, like switch places, bring me up. It was great. It was a very cool way of doing it back when none of us knew what we were doing.
Yeah. I mean,
and now
first of all,
I get to be in that position.
Yeah. You get to be, I mean, I look at, for me, like I see the Warlord and I'm so interested to see where you take it, Seth. But I really see them as like a fighter bard of just like in control of the situation and aiding the allies, but then also just being a beefcake and being able to like wallop when they need to. Yeah.
Crispy.
The second H in Chris can be silent too. Just saying. Thank you, Jax. That was great.
And we'll see how inspiring whoever this character is with a -1 charisma. We'll see how that inspiration comes off.
Dude, Fitz plays in our Barovia game as a non-charismatic character, and all she does is inspires us. So you got this.
Fun. It'll be fun.
I love that idea, though. Which is why I say I'm so interested to see how this plays out, because you are playing a very inspirational character, but it really boils down to what I'm guessing is going to be just his physical presence.
Right.
It doesn't have to be what comes out of his mouth.
Right.
It's his physical presence.
Yeah.
Charisma takes on all forms, as we will soon learn from Benny as well.
Has to come out of somewhere.
Has to come out of somewhere.
Speaking of Benny, or not Benny, what am I saying?
Well, kind of, because we've got Benny's buddy.
Monk,
but do we have a final? Have we locked in a name?
Well, so a bunch. So I didn't take votes away from Chahd just because I didn't feel like making people revote. But we do now have 5 votes for Crispy Bacon, and we had 7 for Chahd, and people did ask it. So I think we have to leave this to dealer's choice and how you're feeling, Seth. But Chahd and Crispy Bacon are definitely the 2 front runners. If that kind of helps you. Give this shape.
I think I got to go with the true vote of 7 and go with Chahd.
Chahd. I like it.
It might be biased because that was the one I liked the most as well.
Nice.
We do allow player autonomy in our games, so I'm very happy.
Worked out.
Yeah.
Until the day we all forced to Evan to play a druid.
Love it. So we'll leave Chahd behind for now. But if anybody has any questions or comments or wants us to dive in deeper with anything with the Warlord, let us know. Leave a little comment, and we can pop back and chat about it. But we're going to move on to the monk, I think.
Is it time to pop into your character sheet?
Yeah. So I'm going to be playing R081T, a.k.a. R0, a.k.a. Robit, a.k.a. Bittybot. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to bury the lead on this one. I have built Chopper from Star Wars Rebels.
Surprise! Star Wars reference.
Surprise! Star Wars reference. Napoleon Dynamite was also a top contender, but I just realized in the end that he is more of a paladin, so we're sticking with Chopper.
Interesting.
Yeah. Chopper! That's right. So, I have chosen for my ancestry. I'm getting a little spicy because these don't exist yet, so I'm just making things up. And I'm gonna go Astral Mech instead of Astromech, because I want to be a little droid. I just want to be a cute little droid. Just a little
Which
bot.
means we will be playing Benny and the Mech.
There it is. We've got Benny and the Mech.
Inspiration for AK. Good work.
And yes, Brandon Lane, Chopper has the highest kill count in all of Star Wars, so I have built a murder bot. Get ready, y'all.
I love that we're going to have a battle bard and a murder bot. I am so freaking hype.
Oh my god, I'm a battle bot. Okay, I love it. So I also rolled for my stats. I rolled a 2, a 1, a 1, and a -1. So I kept my -1 to be spicy. and I bumped up my 2 to a 3 and my one of my 1s to a 2. I didn't explain that well. I'm sorry, but you can see the end results here. I've decided to play a agile because Chopper is very stealthy. How many times did they just give him a new paint job and he just walked onto all the Star Destroyers and nobody looked twice? So I got a stealthy little bot and then intelligent so that I can hack in to any of the fantasy situation. I don't know how this is going to work. Sorry, Matt, but I've introduced technology and hacking into our game without asking. So I also went the custom knowledge route, and I chose tech / in my mind mostly hacking, but I want to be able to do all the things. And then really though, where the monk gets spicy is not in the attribute situation. Although I did for my trades, I was very specific about the trades I picked. I chose disguise, tinkering, and vehicles. I want to be the getaway driver.
Yes.
I picked no languages though, so that it is what it is.
Okay.
Spell hacking. So where the monk gets more fun though is over in the mental and physical defense area, same as the warlord. So I also get 1 stamina point, and monks regain a stamina point when they don't spend an action point on their turn. So it's supposed to sort of represent like being perfectly efficient with your turn of I don't need all of my action points. I can do it in 2. I can do it in 3. And then I can regain. Yeah, so that's how I will regain a stamina point.
It's fun.
It is fun. I like it. Because I like to resource manage. So this is for me. And then unlike when we played at Gen Con, which I purposely made the worst monk I could make, this time I tried to be smart about it.
Okay, you purposefully made the worst monk you could make, got the killing blow, and caused the most chaos on the field.
So mission accomplished.
Unreal.
Take them down. What happens when it's not the worst monk you can make?
I know. What's going to happen when you apply yourself, Fitz?
Right. I will actually die. I will actually fail this time. I'll just fly off, fly off a cliff and never be seen again because I don't have slow fall yet. So the mental and physical defense for monks is calculated differently than everybody else. So for all y'all vanilla classes, you get 8 plus combat.
Damn.
Deal with it. You get.
So spicy today. I love it.
Yeah.
I am playing a spicy bot. So what do you expect? I'm already getting into character.
I love it.
-1 charisma. So for mental defense, I get to have 8 plus combat mastery, 9, plus charisma and intelligence, and then I get to take whichever is higher, my charisma or intelligence, and add it again. So whichever of my higher 2 mental stats are, I basically get to double down on that. I get to double dip. So that's why I have a 12 for my mental defense. And then for physical, I get to add, again, either one of my mental stats, either charisma or intelligence on top of... You chose
charisma, I assume.
Of course I did not. Definitely chose intelligence. So if I was not playing a monk, I think my mental score would be, 9 plus -1 is 8 plus, what do I have for intelligence? 2? Mm-hmm. So 10. So I get 2 extra points in both mental and physical. So if I was not playing a monk, it would be a 10 and a 12. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. So y'all, as much as I love to say build the character you want to build, at Gen Con, I dumped both of the mental stats, and that was difficult.
Fun.
So it was fun, but difficult. So top tip, at least maybe think about putting a couple points in a mental stat if you're playing a monk. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Learn from my mistakes. And then let's see, okay. Here's the other fun thing. Look at how fast I am. I'm so fast. I have a 5 move speed. Everybody else gets 4 spaces, but monks get something called Step of the Wind, which at one point in the alpha development was called Leaf on the Wind, which both made me sad and I loved very much because of Serenity.
Oh.
Yeah. But it is now called Step of the Wind again. So it's 5 space move speed, and then my jump distance, I get to add a space to that as well.
Damn.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So, did I calculate that right? Yeah, I did, because my agility is 3. Great. So 4. I get to move for 5 spaces and jump for 4. And then, if we look at my features,
Do you want me to try and share this? Let me try and share the monk stances.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do this.
Because the monk at level 1 gets to choose 2 stances from the list. It may seem like, for folks who are looking at the monk for the first time, it may seem like the monk gets a lot of features at level 1, but a number of them just sort of get them to be on par with the other marshals. So, for example, you get, with the Flurry of Blows, it's adding +1 damage to your unarmed strike, but that brings up the monk's base damage to the same as the base level damage for most other marshals who are carrying a weapon. So it looks like the monk's getting a lot of features, and nobody screamed they're OP yet because of that. A lot of them are just to bring them up to par with the other martial classes, but the stances are hella sick. So I chose this time I chose bull stance and gazelle stance. So the bull stance, I get to like knock people over, which feels good for Chopper, because Chopper used to love to ram their body into other things and just knock them off of, like, into holes and out of ships and whatever. So I chose bull stance, and then gazelle stance for when I put on the thrusters and I can just go faster. So my base speed is 5, but the gazelle stance makes my speed even faster. If I'm in that stance, I believe I can go an extra space. So I can go 6 spaces.
And your jump.
And my jump goes up 1 too. Damn. Ignoring difficult terrain, and I get advantage on agility saves and acrobatics checks. I didn't put mastery in acrobatics because that felt weird for a stout robot, but whatever, it's fine. I think at Gen Con, I picked the turtle and the gazelle stance, which was super fun because they are the exact opposites of each other. The turtle is you can't move, you're hunkered down, you get extra points to your physical defense. I think you might get damage reduction. I'm trying to pull from memory. Yeah.
It says 2.
-2. Yeah. Okay. So that's like, I've gone into my shell and I'm hunkering down. And then the gazelle is like, I'm out of here. So that was fun to play with. But I think for character features, I've chosen bull and gazelle this time. And then for my technique, because marshals at level 1 get to choose a technique, I chose Whirlwind. Because one of Chopper's favorite things to do is to stick his little arms out and then just spin around really fast. And that feels good, feels right. So I can make 1 attack check and just like slam into a bunch of people around me, which I love.
It sounds very Chopper.
Yeah. I really thought about this.
Chopper.
I love
it. So Chopper.
Yeah. I love Chopper
now,
so much.
Fitz, have you thought at all what Robidibot is going to look like? Do they have legs? Is it like, are you wheels, treads?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with like the traditional old school R unit. So like more of the R2D2 look, the trash can on wheels, not the like new and improved. There is an R0 unit that's out there. That was in Poe Dameron's ship, but that one's a little too sleek, a little too cone heady for me. I like the more rounded, like straight up looks like a trash can. So we're gonna go with that, and I think the detailing is going to be like green stripies, Yeah, I've thought about it. It's like it's a cross between Chopper and R2 with a green paint job. You know.
Okay, love it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Got a
Trash
couple
robot.
of
Trash
comments.
robot. That's me.
Brandon also loves stances. So much potential with multiclassing
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe that's something you can teach all of us. So as we level up, that's the mastery we could take on.
There you go. Yeah, because multiclassing in DC20 is going to be interesting. I think more functional than 5e. I know we're gonna. I'll try not to go down a rabbit hole here. But for example, if one of y'all did want to pick up a monk level, when we get to a certain threshold, you get to choose, like, basically buy features from your class or from other classes, lower level features from other classes. Cool. So rather than taking away from the build sometimes, which can happen in 5e, I don't know if all of us, I don't know, Evan, how much multiclassing you've experimented with, but I know for sure for me, I've tested it and liked it sometimes and hated it other times, because it really can hold back your development of your character's features, and then you just feel like a weak link in the party, and that's never good. But I think DC20 is going to make sure that everyone stays a little bit more on par with each other with the way that you buy features.
That's where my FOMO kicks in. I've considered multiclassing before, but then I'm like, wait a minute, but if I do that, then this other track, if I just stayed monk or stayed rogue, then I'm not going to get these things or at least not quick enough anymore. And I get real decision fatigue around that. So I haven't done that a whole lot. No,
don't. It's a great way to nerf yourself as somebody whose character maybe died in a game recently and she came back as a full on something as opposed to multiclass.
Yeah, now I'm realizing that both of our characters that have died were the ones, I guess technically Olivia was full-blooded paladin, but you know, we each of the characters that have died, we've both had a multi-class one.
And it was hard because the one I'm speaking about started out as a rogue, multi-classed into bard, and I'm watching everybody else in my party level up. And y'all are all becoming experts at things and doing these amazing things. And I'm like half good at two things. And so if I could go back in time and tell 2020 Allison, don't do it, I would. And that's why we fixed it when Chimerical came back to life. She is now single class once more. And that is not a mistake.
So that's good to know.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Seth.
I was going to say there are definitely some ways to min-max the shit out of multiclassing.
Yes.
And
I would love to hear from you on that.
And,
there are ways you can do it. We've all seen the YouTube videos of I deal 1,000 points of damage because I have X, Y, and Z feature from fighter and rogue
Tabletop Phoenix, by the way, our paladin says that you better teach that robot some force abilities in exchange. And
that's what I was going to point out, is that actually that's a really good example of how, like, storytelling can create opportunities for your character builds that, you know, for R0 and for Benny to be in the same party and to be friends, they can absolutely teach each other some of their tricks and tips. And then during levels up, if it feels good, sorry, I just Frenched that. It should be level ups, right? Not levels up. Level ups.
Level ups.
Okay.
Level ups.
Level ups. Yeah, level up. That they can sort of decide mechanically what they've actually learned and picked up from the other people in their party.
And our dungeon master is also saying, just got out of a talk about letting your players help build your world. So on top of all that, on top of us learning from each other, our DM is now taking notes and is learning from what you just put down, Fitz.
Great. Thank you, Matt. I want to hack something. That's on my wish list. Thanks.
I do feel funny that we're here without our dungeon master, because now I feel like we can do some conspiring.
Well, except that he's listening, so we can't fully conspire.
Right.
We can conspire on another date. at another time in another
But
place.
see, if we conspire here, we get all the people in the crowd on our side, and then Matt is forced to do our will because now we have buy-in
That's right.
from all of our pals and paladins.
That's
and
exactly
we have
right.
the lovely input
I mean,
of these creative people.
I think we can still do that, AK. Matt is just not here to say no.
Exactly.
Yeah, and in fact, he's leaving.
Yeah,
Which,
bye.
go have so much fun. Goodbye.
Yeah,
we are
I
now
know.
going to crowdsource more things that you have to put in.
I'm down for that. Do you guys want to take a quick pause and start to call for names for the giveaway? Because it'll take me a minute to put that together.
Yes.
So, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, our great pal Michelle, who actually came to us because of the Dungeon Coach, played in a one-shot with us last month. So much fun, and we love having them as part of our Discord and our little group of nerds. Won on one of the Dungeon Coach's live streams recently, a copy of DC20. Michelle already has DC20 and wants to give it away to one of you. So if you were interested in winning that copy, drop a comment right now. Like, say whatever you want to. Weigh in with a name that you like or your own name, and we'll do a drawing here in a few minutes. But let's have a couple minutes to get those comments in. So drop a comment if you're interested in winning a free copy of DC20, the Alpha. And then, what conspiring do we want to do without dear Matthew?
Oh, man. So we've decided we are all evil aligned.
Yes.
Yes.
I am charismatic evil. Let's go.
Chaotic, charismatic evil.
Chaotic, charismatic evil.
Crispy. And crispy.
And
I'm
crispy.
not. I've never not played a non-chaotic alignment. I've also
Really?
never played an evil alignment, but mine have always been either chaotic neutral or chaotic good.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Do you think today, in today's world of TTRPGs, that a lot of people, whether they call themselves like technically I'm chaotic neutral or good or whatever, everyone's a little bit chaotic? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I try, if I choose because I think chaotic good is the easy choice, generally speaking, for a D&D character.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we're talking about alignment, which is not going to play.
You don't like an easy choice.
I don't like an easy choice. I try when I can to stick to whatever alignment. So, when I played Dahlia, who was the multi-class monk cleric, she was a follower of the Wavering Queen and a little bit of a bitch. And she was lawful neutral, which was interesting and sometimes difficult, but I don't know. I think I did okay. I think I did all right.
Great work single time.
You did great.
Okay.
You did great. Don't be self-conscious.
I think I've maybe only played like one or two chaotic goods. I think Drew even was chaotic neutral. I don't think she was good. I think she was neutral. I play a lot of neutral characters.
Nooch.
Yeah.
Nooch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done about 50. I've done chaotic good. Sora was chaotic good.
That checks.
I think it's definitely hard not to lean into the chaotic when you're sitting around a table or online with a group of friends
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think, I think it just lends itself to that a little easier.
Sure. Especially one shots where it's just everyone's going balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
Boobs-
you.
sorry,
You
boobs
make
to the
the
wall.
best. You make the boobs to the wall. You make the best one-shot characters. What rails? That's great. Charles Tabor asks a very good question. They're interested in the alpha as well. As flavor of the monk, do all classes have flavors? Like, I'm interpreting that they mean like default flavors. And I would say like yes and no. Like the Warlord feels in particular the most flavorful to me. And yet, Seth, when you walked up on Sunday and we were talking about your idea for this, you came in with something that was completely different from what I kind of picture. Like, you're already playing against type, and DC20 has barely been in people's hands.
Cool.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if classes have very strong flavors. Maybe they do.
So let's do a round robin then as we close this out, as we are now at a little past an hour, but that's cool. We're having fun with each other. We're having fun with y'all. What Spice is your character.
Oh.
Think real hard.
What do you mean?
Choose a spice to
Like
represent.
a spice that you eat? Like an edible spice?
Yeah.
Or a neuro spice?
There are no wrong answers here.
There we go.
Okay, here's feedback from Dungeon Coach himself. Thank you for tuning in, Dungeon Coach. I would describe it that each class has a strong class fantasy with many different directions and freedom to express it, which is what
That feels right.
has drawn us to it all along. That I could create. As a rogue, I don't have to choose agility. I can make whatever kind of rogue I want. Right.
Right.
We're doing a pumpkin spice one shot this weekend and next weekend. And Jax has said, please ask this question again tomorrow. I will do my best. Please remind me if I forget. All right. I've got 3 people interested in this alpha. Anybody else drop a comment? Fitz, are you ready with your answer for what flavor is our little robot friend?
I do, but I can't remember the name. It's I know. It's cilantro, which is technically not a spice. Coriander, whatever. It's like it's a herb. But to some people it tastes like soap, and some people love it.
Some people, it does taste like soap to me. I used to hate that, and now I love it. It just
you love soap.
A flip switch. Yeah, I do like soap. I love soap.
Lifebuoy, you've got a whole box of it in your pantry.
I'm just picturing you with a bar of soap, like grating Parmesan cheese, just over your face.
Get some of that Dr. Bronner's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. Now I'm hungry.
I know. We always do lunchtime streams. It's a problem. There, coriander seeds are a spice. So I technically answered correctly. But to some, totally I am flavorful. To others, I am soap.
I love it. Seth, what spice will Chahd? No. Yeah, we did go with Chahd.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific spice, but I think just very spicy because he'll punch you in the face.
The whole spice cabinet.
Yeah. He does, I will say neurospicy. I think he does have a little bit of ADHD because when we were adding the skills and stuff, I started learning Elvish. It took basic Elvish, basic Dwarvish, just kind of bouncing around in the language field. Can't really focus on any,
That's right. We did discuss that. You were like, what would be the equivalent of like high school level 1 Spanish and French?
Right. Yeah.
So you went with Elvish and Dwarvish.
Yeah. I love it. Evan, have you come up with any level of spice that you think Tobias will be?
I went to kind of a visual place as I want to do. And I think maybe this is a little too pedestrian, but given that bugbears are kind of an orangey color, typically, I went ginger spice. Also, my favorite Spice Girl. So
obviously, yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
I think Benny will be pink Himalayan salt because she basic, but also she extra, a little bit fancy.
Amazing.
That's the best way to describe pink Himalayan salt.
Fundamental, more than basic. Right.
Yeah, basic.
Fundamental. Look, there's and Jax is coming up with a basic witch, I think is what she described for the Halloween one. All I have to say is that pumpkin spice and what was considered basic is only considered basic because women like it. Pumpkin spice has existed forever and ever and ever, and people loved it before the PSL, and there's my end rant. You can love what you love, even if it's considered basic. Love what you love.
And I do. I do love my...
Love, man.
My pumpkin cream cold brews, and I will not apologize for it. So we've been talking about our sweet little one-shots. We love to hang out. Evan, Seth, myself, Fitz, Matt, who's not here today. Enter the Pocket Dimension. Come be our friends. We do have a Patreon. It's very, very cheap. If you want to join that and get in on these monthly one-shots, I'm getting ready, spoiler alert, to announce the November one-shots. If you don't feel like entering the Pocket Dimension on Patreon, you could enter it on Discord. Here is the link for that. Come talk with us. Come chat. Come chitter chat about DC20 and all other manner of things. We would love to see you guys in there. What else? Okay, so I'm going to roll a dice. So we've got 3 people. I'm rolling a D6. to find out our winner. And our winner is Daniel. You have won the copy of DC20 thanks to Dungeon Coach and to so Daniel, if you're in our Discord, please hit me up. Otherwise, we'll figure out a way to get in touch with you and get you that copy in your email inbox. What else do we need to say? Brandon, we wanted to call out Brandon Lane, who is here with us today, dropping many helpful comments. Go follow their channel because they're putting out a lot of cool DC20 content.
Yeah, totally. Go support your creators. Coach, of course, is here. Everybody knows who he is, or you should by now. Go check out Coach. If you don't, for some weird reason, go check out Brandon, making really great videos, also explaining really succinctly and well how these character sheets work. Really helpful.
Yeah.
And if you are also a creator, come join us in our Discord, get in our Promote It channel, and share what you're working on. We'd like to see it.
Yeah. Share what you're working on. Come talk about food and pet pictures, and then also the DC20 chat. If if you weren't able to make the live, but you have questions or thoughts, or you want to weigh in on Chahd versus Johnsh versus Dick, then make your opinions known in our Discord, and that's where you can get in touch with us.
Seth, can I vote for Chad's last name to be Johnsh so I can
so
I can have the best of both worlds?
Chahd Johnsh.
Chahd Johnsh.
McDuffins.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah, I'll accept middle name.
Porque no los all three.
Trace.
Yep. Love it.
Trace, there was the word I needed. Well, thank you guys. Seth, we're excited to have you join this party.
I am thrilled to be here.
Thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure. Maddie, we miss you, but hope you're having fun at Gamehole Con. And we will be back. And hopefully maybe we'll have the date soon for y'all of this little actual play now that you've met all four of us.
It will be soon. Soon.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channels.
Chahd, Sean.
This one right here. Do.
Bye.